Hey guys, Tamarac's Treehouse coming at you with the latest update to the adventure in the world of Soralia, the Forgotten Star. The party traveled out of the mountains after their troll encounter, where they also parted ways with the treant, Willowbark, that they summoned from the Feywild, who is now trapped here since there is a veil, a magical veil, preventing the Feywild from entering the material plane. But they were able to summon him because a promise is a promise, an oath is an oath, and unfortunately now he's trapped here. But he parted ways with them. They left him in the mountains, and they came into the town of Soothtannen, which was a much-needed respite for them. And they do what most adventure parties do when they come to small towns. They shop, right? So they went to the local apothecary where they got healing potions and some resistance potions, material components, and whatnot. They spent some time with an eccentric general store trader, which I made as a Harangon, who is really twitchy and nervous and just really overly polite, and they certainly took advantage of him and got him to discount a lot of his materials, and he still thought that he was just having such a great day. We had the local blacksmith where they started to procure some armor. We've got some plate mail and some scale mail currently being, or leather, like a leather tunic, studded leather tunic being made right now, where that's going to take a couple days, so it keeps them in the town for a little bit. Where in the town they're hearing rumors of a little boy who is lost control of his magic, and he's causing all sorts of problems. He keeps casting these random spells on Mrs. Abernathy here, turning her cats into frogs and levitating her flowers and catching things on fire, etc., etc. So effectively a wild magic sorcerer that can't seem to control his magic. Only problem is that this town fears sorcerers. There was once a great sorcerer who decided to try to see how he could push his limits and take over the world, and that was probably about 50 years ago or so, and that sorcerer was from this town, so this town distrusts magic users who cannot tame their magic, a la wild magic sorcerers, which we have in our party. So this is an interesting dynamic for them to want to try to either help this kid or turn him in, and we'll see what they do. It's a dilemma that they'll have to come across. They did spend time in a tavern that I set up here, where they were able to try to just figure out what was going on around town, ask some questions, etc. But the big part of the session here really revolved around one of the players named Relic, who is a reborn, which is stitched together pieces, effectively a construct, like a living construct. And what I've done for the player who is playing Relic is when I came into this town, he was surrounded by some memories. He remembered certain things. He walked by a house and had specific memories, etc. And the thing about Relic's memories is that because he's stitched together pieces of a whole bunch of different potentially people and whatnot, he's remembering things all along the campaign. And what I've done for him is I went ahead and I created a spreadsheet here with memories that are triggered based off a certain word. You can't see that, but that says apples. So when something in the campaign comes all up with apples, the player has the ability to scratch off. I did a scratch and not sniff, but whatever, scratch stuff like a lottery ticket here. Made it with soap and glue and paint, and it triggers a memory. So the memory kind of helps him figure out maybe just teasers of maybe who he is, or where he comes from, or how things happen to him. So so he has these memories, but in the town here, more memories triggered. It leads to a little bit of his backstory, which was interesting. So the players pulled on some of those threads. They also dropped off their friendly Deacon Ollie that's been with them this entire time, being escorted. He gave them some money. They visited the Church of Selune, where there were some sermons going on, and the townsfolk all kind of congregated together and had a nice evening with some Selune love, and learned a little bit more about what was going on in town and who this boy is that's casting this wild magic, etc., etc. They were told to visit and see a seer on the outskirts of town. So the end of the session kind of wandered in where they were spending some time in this druidic grove on the outskirts of the town, where they met up with this seer who kind of tried to, they had to convince her to help them find the boy. So she knew who the boy was. She knew where he was hiding. She was just very protective over him, and they convinced her to tell them where he was. So he is out in this cavern back here, casting wild magic spells that that he can't control. So before they had the opportunity to venture off to go find him, though, one of my characters decided to mess with the diviner's pool that she was using, and he poured some liquid in there, much like she had done, only it was like an alcoholic mixture of alcohol and tea, and I had that trigger the evil shadow that's been following one of my other characters, Sid the Wizard, and that spawned potential combating, well, not potential, it spawned a combat encounter here, which is where we wrapped up the campaign. So there's an evil shadow that is following our wizard, and the party has not known about this until he spawned in this room and summoned all these little shadow spawn with him out of the different light sources. So that's where we'll pick up in the next session. What I'm going to probably do tonight is break down this table, and then we're going to take this scene right here and we're going to kind of expand it so I've got a little bit more combat playroom for the next session. And then we'll see if they survive that. They'll probably venture off into the mountains, and instead of it just being a simple cave like this, maybe we'll actually have it be a real cave that they have to traverse into, and then come back out, and we'll probably theater of mind the rest of what they do in the town. So really appreciate you guys stopping by. If you enjoy stuff like this, please like and subscribe. Just kind of doing this for fun, but hopefully the idea here is to provide some tabletop experience, like a tabletop immersive experience, but also give some campaign ideas to hopefully inspire people to come up with different adventures in their own campaigns. And you feel free to steal anything out of here. That's part of the fun of D&D, is being able to just kind of steal things that you think are really cool and modify them and make them your own. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you all, and until next time, take care.